So I finished loading all of my articles into Niche Profit Press, and you can see them over here in the right-hand menu. Now I do want to briefly discuss order of articles. What you want to do is you want to have your articles in descending order in an order that makes sense for the user. In other words, you want to start with general topics and work your way down into more specified topics. A great way to do this if you're not quite sure of the order is to go ahead and head back over to Amazon.com and do the look inside the book. Now we covered this in an earlier video, so I'm just going to skip right there, and I'm going to look at how this person has structured their table of contents. Because again, your website is sort of like a book, and it's sort of like a magazine, so you want to structure it that way for the user. So this is the table of contents that we, for the most part, based our articles on to begin with. So I'm back here and looking at it as a reference. I can see they start with an introduction, then obtaining or buying, then they talk about the aquarium, then they talk more specifically about aquarium care and maintenance, then we move over and there's talk about diseases, then behavior, and finally reproduction. So just make a mental note of that and now head back over to the Cichlid website and let's take a look at how our menu is structured. I get the sense from just looking at it that it is a little bit misordered. So I'm going to open up a notepad file and walk you through how I would order this. And I'm just drawing from the table of contents over at Amazon, as well as just common sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with Cichlid info. And it makes sense that Cichlid care would go next because it'll give the reader a broad overview of just caring for the cichlid fish in general. Then I think buying cichlids would go next. Cichlid aquarium go next. Actually, I think I'm going to put the most common cichlids above cichlid aquarium, and then cichlid behavior, and then cichlid breeding. And then I think I'll put diseases right below aquarium. So I think this is pretty similar to the table of contents that we just looked at over at Amazon, maybe tweaked slightly. You can see that it starts with more general topics at the top and then progresses through to more specified information. It's also set up in a way that it leads the person through the hobby itself. So somebody interested in cichlids would start out with general information, then they'd move to buying the cichlid, setting up the aquarium. They might have to cure some diseases at that point. Then as they observe their fish, they're probably going to wonder what's going on. I'd want to know more about their behavior. And then finally, once they're a little bit more advanced in the hobby, they might want to get into breeding their own cichlids. So I think this makes sense in several different ways. So ideally, you want to go through this exercise before you load your articles into Niche Profit Press, but I wanted to do it afterwards because now I want to show you an easy way to reorganize your articles if indeed you do want to change the order. So first off, just go ahead and label where they're at currently. So this is in the number 1 spot, this is in the number 2 spot, this is in the number 5 spot, oops, the number 6 spot. Most common is in the number 4 spot. Aquarium is in the number 8 spot. Diseases, then 5, 3, and 7. And now just go ahead and label where they should go. So this one's correct, this one's correct, this one is correct. This one needs to change to a 4, a 3. This one needs to change to 5, a 6, a 7, and an 8. And now you know which ones you need to change and what you need to change them to, so you can log into the Niche Profit Press backend and just make these changes real quick. So I'm going to do just one of them now and then I'll pause the video and do the rest. So I'm going to go to my Niche Profit Press backend area, go to posts here, and then buying cichlids, because I want to move this up to the number 3 spot. And it's currently in number 6, so I'm going to change this to a 3. Scroll back up, click Update Post. Gone back now and refreshed the page, and you can see that buying cichlids has been moved up to the number 4 spot, even though you want it to be a number 3, and that's because cichlid behavior is already set at number 3. So you just go back to your list and you would see that cichlid behavior needs to be set at 7, and just go through and make sure each of the ones that are incorrectly numbered are just renumbered, and in the end it will all be sorted out. So I'm going to pause the video and do that now. So I've gone ahead and finished and I've refreshed the page, and now you can see my menu's in the order that I want it to be in. So we're finished at this point uploading our primary articles. You can click on any of the links, for instance aquarium, and you can see the article itself, and it's all nicely laid out and looks very solid.